Welcome to Tiny Home Reveal. Today, we're exploring 7 tiny house designs that redefined what's possible in small space living. Let's begin to reveal. For years, people thought tiny houses were about sacrifice. You give up space. You give up comfort. You give up your dignity, climbing into a loft bed like a sleepy toddler. And then, some designers decided they were done with that story. What happened next quietly rewrote the rules of what a home can be. We're talking designs that eliminated the loft and nobody missed it. Designs that took Japanese minimalism and compressed it into 21 feet of absolute perfection. Designs that physically expand on a button press. Designs that proved, for the first time, that a family of 4 could live fully, comfortably, and beautifully in a home the size of most people's living room. Today we are counting down the 7 tiny house designs that actually changed everything. Not just pretty, not just look at that clever storage. Designs that shifted what the entire industry thought was possible. And I promise you, number 1 on this list is going to reframe how you think about small living forever. Before we dive in, hit subscribe and tap the notification bell right now. This channel is dedicated to the future of smart, intentional living. And if any part of this video speaks to you, you do not want to miss what's coming next. And stay with me till the end, because designs number 1 and 2 are the most jaw-dropping on this list, and I'm saving them for last. Let's go. Quick context before we start. The tiny homes market is projected to grow from $13.17 billion in 2025 to $14 billion in 2026, a compound annual growth rate of 6.4%. This isn't a niche movement anymore. It's a legitimate housing category, and the designs driving that growth are doing things that would have seemed impossible 5 years ago. Every design on this list is real, available, or recently built in 2026, and represents a genuine conceptual leap, not just a pretty facade. Let's count them down. The Balance Breaker, kicking us off at number 7, the Betty by Decathlon Tiny Homes. And before you ask, yes, this is the same Decathlon that makes sports equipment. They built a tiny house, and somehow, it just works. At 28 feet long on a triple-axle trailer, the Betty sits in the mid-sized sweet spot, big enough to live in fully, small enough to actually tow. But what makes it a design breakthrough isn't the size, it's the layout philosophy. Most tiny homes on wheels force you into a version of the same compromise. Sleeping loft above, living area below, ladder somewhere in the middle, dignity optional. The Betty says, what if we just didn't do that? The Betty features a proper ground floor bedroom, accessed through a sliding barn-style door, along with a kitchen anchored by quartz countertops, a deep farmhouse-style sink, and a reverse osmosis water filtration system built right in. The loft above, storage only. No climbing into bed at 11 p.m. in the dark like you're attempting a military obstacle course. The kitchen is the real star here. A breakfast bar seating area, generous cabinetry including a sizable pantry, a full fridge/freezer, and a 2-burner induction cooktop. This is a kitchen you can actually cook in, not perform cooking in while crouching. What the Betty changed? It proved that a road-legal THOW could deliver a genuinely apartment-style living experience without the loft-or-nothing compromise that had defined tiny home design for a decade. That's worth counting. The Philosophy House. Number 6 is where things start getting deeply interesting. This is the Mizuho, built by the Ikigai Collective, a tiny home builder that takes its name from the Japanese philosophy of Ikigai, your reason for being. And unlike any tiny house I've ever featured, the Mizuho isn't just a home. It's a philosophy made physical, designed by the Ikigai Collective and based on a double-axle trailer. The Mizuho measures just 6.6 meters, or 21.7 feet, in length. Built in partnership with local craftsmen in Nozo Onsen, Japan, it blends traditional Japanese minimalist aesthetics with modern building technology into a home designed for a single person or a couple. And the price? Approximately $74,000. For a handcrafted, philosophically coherent, architecturally considered home. Let that land for a second. What makes the Mizuho different from every other small home on wheels isn't just the wood finishes or the minimalist palette. It's the intent behind every decision. The design embodies principles of simplicity and intentional living, bringing the tranquility of Japanese lifestyle practices into everyday modern life. This isn't deprivation. It isn't downsizing, it's curation. Every surface, every corner, every material choice is asking, does this earn its place? The Mizuho is a single-level layout, no lofts, no ladders, which means the spatial efficiency had to come from exceptional proportional design rather than stacking. And it does. What the Mizuho changed, it introduced an entirely different design language into tiny home culture, one borrowed from centuries of Japanese spatial wisdom, and proved that tiny living could be an aesthetic and philosophical statement, not just a practical compromise. The family mythbuster. Number 5 takes on one of the biggest myths in tiny living. That tiny houses are only for individuals or couples. That the moment you have kids, the dream is over. The Starling by Rewild Homes, based out of Nanaimo, Vancouver Island, says that's completely wrong. At 33 feet long and 8 feet 6 inches wide, the Starling rides on a triple-axle gooseneck trailer. That raised front section, the gooseneck, is more than a structural choice. It's what gives the layout its most valuable asset, real spatial separation. The exterior wears natural wood cladding under a metal roof, calm and considered against the Pacific Northwest landscape. And inside, the family-forward thinking is everywhere. The convertible dining banquette folds flat into a third sleeping space when needed, with every seat sitting above a well of hidden storage. The U-shaped kitchen features dark wood countertops and a breakfast bar, alongside a 4-burner propane range, a high-efficiency fridge with bottom freezer, a double sink, and pull-out cabinetry. This is not a camping kitchen. This is a kitchen a family can cook in every single day. The raised gooseneck section becomes a private second bedroom, ideal as a children's room, giving the family genuine spatial separation between adult and kids' living areas. Something most tiny homes attempt with a curtain. The Starling achieves it with actual architecture. Running along the loft staircase is a custom aluminum railing commissioned from Ruffton Art, a local Vancouver Island artist, functioning as a guardrail and doubling as the home's most expressive design moment. What the Starling changed, it demolished the idea that family life and tiny living are mutually exclusive. It showed that with the right structural design, specifically the gooseneck format, a tiny home on wheels can offer something most families never thought they could have in 250 square feet: privacy. The one that killed the loft, Rewild Homes, makes the list twice because they earned it twice. And design number 4 might be their boldest statement yet: the barred owl. And its argument is simple. What if we just remove the loft entirely? In tiny house design, the sleeping loft is almost treated as sacred law. You stack the bedroom above to save floor space below. It's the fundamental equation. The barred owl looked at that equation and said, what if we're solving the wrong problem? Rewild Homes built the barred owl on a single-level plan, eliminating the loft bed that most tiny houses treat as a structural inevitability. Mounted on a triple-axle trailer and measuring 10 feet wide, 1.5 feet wider than the North American standard, the barred owl transforms how the interior functions at every point of the day. That extra 1.5 feet of width sounds trivial on paper. In real life, it's the difference between a space that feels like a clever camping solution and one that feels like an actual home. The exterior is finished in durable metal siding with warm cedar accenting and a standing seam metal roof. Stepping inside, the door opens into a well-lit living area finished in whitewashed pine tongue-and-groove. The railroad-style layout means every room connects directly to the next. No corridors eating your square footage, no wasted space. The barred owl is aimed squarely at full-time living. Its single-story interior providing an apartment-style layout that would be a good fit for someone looking to age in place, or just avoid the nighttime gymnastics of climbing awkwardly into a loft bed. Price: around $119,000 US. Premium, yes, but you are buying a genuinely full-time livable home on wheels that looks and functions like a thoughtful urban apartment. What the barred owl changed, it proved that removing a feature, the sacred loft, could actually make a tiny home more livable. That sometimes the most innovative design move is subtraction. In an industry obsessed with fitting more into less, the barred owl had the courage to do less, more beautifully. The family reinvention. Number 3 comes from Australia, and it might just be the most impressive family tiny house built anywhere in the world in 2026. Meet the Kookaburra 2.0 by Unplgd Tiny Homes, built in Lawson, New South Wales, about an hour from Sydney. And it represents an upgrade so significant that the builder essentially redesigned what a dual loft family home could be. The Kookaburra 2.0 measures 8.5 meters in length, about 27.8 feet, with a generous 3-meter width and a remarkable 4.5 meter height of 14.7 feet. Those proportions allow for a layout that changes the rules of dual loft design. Here's the genius move. Most tiny homes with 2 lofts have them mirror each other, one on each end of the home, each with its own staircase or ladder, eating up massive floor space just in access points. Kookaburra 2.0 completely rethinks this. Instead of 2 separate mirrored lofts, the Kookaburra 2.0 has one large unified loft area divided by a full-height wall into 2 distinct bedrooms. A single staircase reaches both bedrooms, eliminating the common problems of dual staircases or hybrid ladder/staircase solutions that eat floor space. It also means parents have immediate, easy access to the children's room, unlike typical dual loft layouts where the rooms are separate and far apart. That's not just clever. That's a fundamental rethink of how loft space works in a family tiny home. And Unplgd executed it with the kind of finished quality, all white walls, large windows, comfortable ceiling heights throughout, that makes the whole thing feel airy rather than stacked. Pricing for the standard turnkey model starts at AUD 195,000, approximately $137,000 US, which reflects the premium craftsmanship and the genuine innovation in the layout. What the Kookaburra 2.0 changed, it solved the dual loft problem that had plagued family tiny homes for years. By unifying the loft space and dividing it architecturally rather than physically separating it across the home, it gave families something they desperately needed: proximity, privacy, and one staircase. The home that grows. We're into the top 2, and design number 2 answers the question that stops most people from committing to tiny living. But what if my needs change? What if you have a guest? What if you need a proper workspace? What if your family grows? What if you just need more room today than you needed yesterday? The answer: a home that physically changes size. The Expandable Tiny House is one of the most significant design innovations in the tiny home category over the past 5 years. The concept, a unit that compacts to road legal dimensions for transport, then expands on-site to significantly greater floor area. A tiny house that tows like a conventional THOW, but lives like something considerably larger. MagicBox holds a patent on the Magic Slide expandable system, one of the few genuinely innovative tiny house mechanisms, designed from the ground up as an expandable living structure rather than adapted from RV slide-out hardware. Let that sink in. This is not an RV slide-out bolted on a tiny house. This is a system engineered from scratch for the specific demands of tiny living. The result is a home that compresses to legal road width for transport, and then, on site, expands to a meaningfully larger footprint at the press of a button. And MagicBox goes further than just a slide mechanism. Their 2026 design guide outlines off-grid ready utility hubs with pre-wired solar, integrated inverter and battery spaces, and gray water considerations, emphasizing designing with serviceability in mind, so owners can upgrade batteries or add panels without ripping up interiors. This is a home designed for the long game, not just smart now, but upgradable later. As your off-grid needs grow, the home grows with them. What the MagicBox expandable system changed, it removed the single biggest objection to tiny living: the fear of being locked into a static footprint. A home that changes size based on your needs isn't just clever engineering. It's a completely different relationship between a person and their home. You're not living in a fixed box. You're living in something that adapts. That's a paradigm shift. The idea that redesigned everything. And here we are, number 1. Now, I want to be honest with you. Design number 1 isn't a single home. It's a design philosophy, an idea, but it's the idea that underlies every single home on this list. And understanding it will completely change how you look at any tiny house you ever see again. It's called the open plan great room design approach. And in 2026, it has become the defining feature of the entire tiny house category. Here's the old way tiny houses were designed. You carve the space into separate rooms, a little kitchen area, a tiny living area, a bathroom, a loft above, Each section gets its own designated walls, and what you end up with is a series of small, enclosed spaces that each feel cramped independently and together feel claustrophobic. Here's what the best designers figured out, and what every single home on this list demonstrates. In a tiny house, the floor plan is the home. There are no extra square feet to compensate for a bad layout, so every wall has to earn its right to exist. In 2020 SXS Best Tiny House Designs, the kitchen, dining, and living areas form a continuous spine running the length of the home. The kitchen is at one end, adjacent to utilities and plumbing. The living area is at the other end, nearest the main door or deck access. And the dining zone, often a fold-down table or banquette, sits between them. The rooms aren't enclosed. They're zoned, defined by a change in ceiling height, a shift in flooring material, a half wall of shelving, a kitchen counter that signals the cooking area without blocking the sight line. Effective tiny house design zones spaces without enclosing them, a change in ceiling height that delineates the sleeping area, a half wall or bookshelf that creates separation without blocking light. And then, the outdoor extension. The best tiny house designs treat the outdoor area, a deck, a covered porch, a fold-down terrace, as a functional room that extends the living space. A 280 square foot interior with a 100 square foot covered deck effectively lives like a 380 square foot home for most of the year in mild climates. This is why the Betty feels spacious at 28 feet, why the Mizuho feels serene at 21 feet, why the barred owl feels like an apartment without a single loft. They all apply this philosophy, relentlessly, deliberately, without compromise. As the Sustainable Housing Review put it in 2026, tiny houses are no longer experimental. They're optimized, tested, and built for everyday life. That optimization, it starts with this principle. Every square foot is a decision. Every wall is a choice. And the homes that embrace that truth, rather than apologize for their size, are the ones that change everything. 7 designs, 7 ideas, each one a piece of a bigger picture that's rewriting what we thought a home could be. From the Betty's ground floor bedroom revolution, to the Mizuho's Japanese wisdom in 21 feet, to the Starling proving families belong in tiny living, to the barred owl's brave subtraction, to Kookaburra 2.0's dual loft reinvention, to MagicBox's home that grows, and finally, to the design philosophy that ties them all together. The message is clear. The tiny house of 2026 is not a compromise. It is a category, a serious, ambitious, extraordinary category, with its own standards, its own vocabulary, and its own vision of what a home can be. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, which of these 7 designs spoke to you the most? Which one made you stop and think, wait, that actually changes things? And if you want to go deeper, I've got a full video right here breaking down exactly where you can legally put a tiny house in 2026, state by state, because the best design in the world means nothing if you can't legally place it anywhere. That link is right there. Subscribe if you haven't. New deep dives every week. I'll see you in the next one.